The blueprint for resilient leadership. What Romans 12:12 can teach us about resiliency. Every life, whether you're building a family, leading a team, or navigating your own inner battles, demands character. And not the polished, resume-ready kind of character we like to put on LinkedIn, but the kind that shows up when no one is watching. The kind that either holds firm in the storm or collapses under pressure. Romans 12:12 gives us a blueprint for resilience that applies not just to faith, but to every corner of life and business. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. This isn't theory. It's practice. It's the daily grind of choosing how you'll stand when the ground shakes beneath you. The long view of hope. Hope is not a wish. It's not crossing your fingers and whispering, "I hope this works out." Biblical hope is rooted in certainty. It's grounded in the promises of God that are as steady as the sunrise. In business, hope works the same way. It's not naive optimism. It's vision. Leaders don't thrive because the present is easy. They thrive because they can see beyond it. Think of an architect who looks at a dusty, empty lot. Where others see dirt and rubble, the architect sees the blueprint of a building already in their mind. That's what being joyful in hope is about. Joy comes not from today's mess, but from tomorrow's possibilities. The core question for you: where is your hope anchored? If it's in outcomes you can't control, sales quotas, market shifts, people's opinions, you'll live anxious and fragile. But if it's in a vision bigger than yourself, you'll find a joy that can't be stolen. Patience in the fire. Affliction is not optional. You already know this. Projects fail, relationships crack, markets turn, illness strikes, plans derail. The word Paul uses for patience isn't about twiddling your thumbs. It's endurance. It's holding your ground when every instinct says to run. Imagine a blacksmith forging steel. The metal is heated, hammered, and cooled over and over until it's stronger than before. That's affliction. And patience is the decision to stay in the fire long enough to be shaped. Too many leaders quit mid-process. They abandon relationships, abandon dreams, or abandon their own integrity because the heat feels unbearable. But here's the paradox. The very fire you resist is the one that forges your strength. Pause and ask yourself, am I letting affliction refine me or define me? The non-negotiable of prayer. Prayer may sound like the most religious of these three commands, but strip it down and you'll see it's about communication. It's about dependence. In business, leaders who refuse to listen to their team, to the data, to their gut, fail quickly. Spiritually, the same is true. Without prayer, you're flying blind. Faithfulness in prayer means persistence. Not just crying out when the sky is falling, but showing up daily, like a leader showing up to the morning huddle. It's rhythm, it's consistency, and it's what keeps you tethered when hope feels far and affliction feels heavy. In business terms, prayer is your strategy session with the ultimate CEO. It aligns you with the bigger mission, reminds you of your resources, and steadies you in the chaos. The real challenge: do you see prayer as a last resort or as your first move? The pattern of Jesus. Step back for a moment. Romans 12:12 isn't just a set of commands. It's a snapshot of the life of Jesus. He was joyful in hope, constantly pointing to the kingdom of God. He was patient in affliction, enduring rejection, betrayal, and the cross itself. And he was faithful in prayer, slipping away to the mountains and the gardens to commune with his Father. If leadership is influence, then the greatest influence we can embody is Christ's pattern. Joy rooted in hope, patience forged in fire, faithfulness sustained in prayer. That's not just spiritual growth, that's transformational leadership. What this means for you. Spiritually, this verse calls you to let God shape you from the inside out. Relationally, it challenges you to model resilience for those who look up to you, your kids, your colleagues, and your friends. Professionally, it pushes you to lead not from fear or exhaustion, but from the deep well of hope, endurance, and prayerful wisdom. Here's the tension. You can't fake this. Teams see through shallow optimism. Friends recognize hollow patience. And people know when prayer or reflection, listening or dependence is absent. The good news is you don't need to fake it. Romans 12:12 is not about gritting your teeth harder. It's about opening yourself to God's transforming presence so you actually become joyful, patient, and faithful. Final thoughts. So here's where I'll challenge you. Take inventory. Where is your hope truly anchored today? How are you handling the fires of affliction, quitting, complaining, or enduring? And what does your prayer life or your daily rhythm of alignment actually look like? Don't just read this verse. Live it. Test it in your meetings, in your home, in your moments of frustration. Because Romans 12:12 is more than good advice. It's the blueprint for resilient character. It's the framework for transformational leadership. And it's the way to build a life and a business that can withstand the fire.